Alright, you guys, what's up? So if you guys caught my last video, I talked a little bit about the truck back here and how it was time to go start adventuring. So I figured, been wearing shorts all week, it's been nice, and when Friday came, the weekend came, I loaded it up. I put in my fire pit and my chair and my tools and all kinds of stuff, right? Start heading up the mountain, and I get up here. Good thing I didn't wear shorts today. It's totally snowing, and it's covered. It's covered up here. So on the way up, I was hitting rain, a lot of rain. And mud, and I slid on the red clay and clipped I'm gonna call it a bush, but it was kind of like a bushy tree. Clipped that, then had to go up this hill that was nasty. I was going really slow, and on one side I had kind of a roll off down, down a hill, and on the other side I had these big jagged rocks sticking out, and the car just kept sliding as slow as I was going. Oh. So I'm glad to have gotten through that, and now I'm up here. And the problem with this is it's in its look. I've set up other vehicles. I set up my Jeep with kind of the amenities that I really like over the years. See like what'll make you more comfortable. Let me give you an example. Like an awning, so you can get out of the weather or the sun. I don't have anything like that on here, so I have no place to hide. I'm hiding next to this big tree, trying to get the snow from not hitting me. The one thing I want to caution everybody about: don't ever go off-roading by yourself. Don't ever go in areas where there's like snow and mud and mountains and cliffs and rocks by yourself. Don't ever do that. Because if something happens, what do? I did buy some cheap traction boards off Amazon. Couldn't afford the Max Tracks. I wanted them, but couldn't afford them. But I figured something is better than nothing to have in there. So I've got 4 of those, and I've got kind of a little survival shovel in case something happens. But I got my survival pack gear thingy, all that. So, just in case. It's beautiful up here. It's incredible. I can't set up, unfortunately, to do my cookout, because I don't have any way to get out of the weather. I'm just standing here in the snow. So, I don't know. That's going to have to be something that I think about. I mean, I could take the awning off the Jeep and put it on here, but I think it's too big. Like, the awning I have on the Jeep is one of those 270 ones that go from the side all the way around the back. And it's really big, and that's got kind of a short roof rack on it. And I think my mounting points, they're adjustable, but I still think that it would be too big for this. I need a smaller one, but definitely something to get out of the weather. Now, yeah, I could hang a tarp off of it, but yeah, that would be kind of an emergency type case, hanging a tarp off. All right, so I had to get my hat. It's getting my head's getting wet. It's getting cold. I'm gonna show you guys my setup here in the back. Okay, so here's my setup. Everything's piled. Hold on. Door's got a little locker down there. So everything just piled in here. I got a chair. I've got my little, what do you call that? The charcoal heating tower thing where you start the charcoal starter. I got a little charcoal bag. I got my cooker, my food box, first aid kit, fire extinguisher. That's my bag with food and water and fire starting stuff, first aid, knife, hat, gloves, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of, and it's got 2 first aid kits in it. And then underneath there, I've got, I don't know if you can see that, they've got two bags with 2 traction boards in each one. Hey, the sun's trying to break through. Hey, the sun's trying to break through, but it's still snowing. So this already is nightmarish, right? Anyone who goes camping or off-roading or overlanding and knows how when you pile stuff in the back, it's a royal pain in the butt. Obviously, I got to take out all kinds of stuff just to get to my fire pit. Those boxes are really good. Like, you can stack those and label them, and like if you have to take one box out to get to the other box, that's not that bad. But I don't know about like a drawer system, because I have multiple vehicles and I move this stuff from vehicle to vehicle, and having those kind of drawers in there is more of a permanent thing where you pack all your gear in the drawers and you leave it in there. Where, if I'm taking the Land Cruiser or the Jeep, I have a food box in the Jeep that stays in there just like this one. So, or the Raptor, a lot of that stuff has to move. So I'm just not 100% sure if the investment of drawers is something. I know it's worth it because they're awesome, but I don't know if it's right for my situation. That's something I'm going to have to kind of decide as I go along here. But man, look at this snow. Like I said, it's been sunny and 65 to 70 degrees pretty much all week. Wearing, broke out the shorts, good to go. Right now, it's. I think it was 40 when I was coming up the hill, and I think it dropped down about 8 degrees, so maybe around freezing, right about 32 degrees. Hands are getting cold, but I got my gloves and stuff. It's actually calming down right now. But you set up your whole fire pit and everything, and it's so beautiful up here. Really want to this is a good test for those all-terrain tires, though. Wow, I went through that mud I told you about, and it was scary because I slid into a bush. I hope I haven't even looked if I did any scratches or damage, but on this snow, it seems to be working really good. But this is like snow that has just fallen, right? It's powdery, it's normal. It's not like that snow that's been sitting there for weeks and is kind of half snow, half ice, half Teflon. Yeah, that stuff. I talked to a bunch of dudes over at the Jeep store, the place that does all the work on Jeeps in town. And they got like 40s and stuff on their Jeeps, even, more crazy than mine. And they both got stuck in that same kind of snow that I did. They said they were just sitting there in the Jeeps. There was no traction. No, they weren't on their frame, nothing. Just tires just turning in place. So all right, well, welcome to the next day. I thought I would try something interesting and not give up. So I really wanted to do the cookout yesterday. So I'm at basically the same, a little less elevation, but I'm up in the mountains here. No snow here. This area got all rain. But today the skies are beautifully blue. Not a cloud in the sky. Sun is shining. It's about 50-ish degrees. Once I got up here, I had to put on my little coat. But I'm going to try something that I haven't done. I've got some of these potatoes here, these small kind of like fingerling potatoes. Now, I've had these before, and I don't remember, but one of the two, I don't know if it was the yellow ones or the red ones, they weren't as good. And one tasted like pure butter. So I'm gonna have to remember which one. I'm gonna cook these and try and remember which one that I really like. What I'm gonna try and do is cook them on a pan off to the side. I gotta get these going, and then I'm gonna cook a steak. So I stopped at Sprouts because I forgot my little bottle of olive oil. I got this olive oil spray, so we're gonna try that. I don't know if it's gonna work, but one of the things I'm gonna cut while we're talking here. One of the things that you know, as you do this stuff, you figure out what you what you have is what you need, and also what you don't have is what you need, right? And one of the things, obviously, from earlier in the video yesterday, right? Obviously, the awning would be really beneficial. An awning would be really beneficial to. Oh wow! So the red potatoes are harder to cut than the yellow ones. So I wonder if the yellow ones were the ones that I really like. I mean, I know I like these little red potatoes. I put them in the pot roast and stuff. I love them, but that's like cooking down for hours. So doing this stuff, coming out and actually doing this stuff, you find out, like I said, what you have, if what you have is what you need. Like, don't carry stuff that you don't need. I don't know why I'm doing this on a paper plate when I've got my wooden plate right there, but yeah, this is not super stable. So all that being said, I need some kind of table. In the Jeep, I've got the table that folds down off the back door, and that is really, really handy, especially for cutting stuff. In this, I don't have anything yet. Now, I was contemplating making a table that attaches to the back door, like a homemade type thing, you know, a piece of wood that folds down and folds up out of the way when you're not using it. So I have to look into doing something like that, because carrying one of those like little plastic tables or something, I have one that folds in half. I don't know where I got it. One of those cheap, you know, the cheap plastic ones, but that actually might work because it might fit back in here really good. And if it does, maybe I'll use that until I really figure out what I want to do for the back door. So I've got a peppercorn medley grinder and a Himalayan pink salt grinder here. Both came in this cool kit from Amazon. And I've got it's really neat. They actually have 3 settings of how coarse or how fine you want it. I have it on medium. Try and get some of that oil mixed on there. I want to get these going long before I do the steak. Oh man, that pepper looks so good. I gotta add some more of that. So I have the regular black peppercorn and then this medley one, which has different types of peppers. It actually adds a nice kind of color to it. Now this is a really thin pan, so it should work, even because I do the kind of that low heat charcoal bed here for the steak. Being a really thin pan, it should actually work. All right, I've been sitting here relaxing. Potatoes are starting to look good, so I think that I could put the steak on. So I got one of these. I have a few of these Mora knives. They're actually very inexpensive. Stainless steel, easy to clean. I got them for like my first not my first, but I got them for like bush knives, a couple different versions of them, and they were having a sale on Amazon. I think they're under 20 bucks. So I got one to put in the food kit here in case I forget my knife. Anyway, here's my glorious steak here. Looks delicious. Looks really good. Woo, that's warm. That looks like a really good steak. You can see the potatoes are starting to brown up pretty good. So this has been really fun yesterday and today doing this stuff. Everything's cooking right now. And it's really interesting, like I said, I guess I really like the type of door opening that this is, swinging to the side, because it matches the Jeep, right? I'm used to that. It's not that it's better or worse than anything else. It's just something that I'm used to, it swinging out this way. But a table here, or bring a table with me, because, you know, without, again, I think I talked about it earlier in the video, which was yesterday. I was talking about drawers, and having drawers with all of this stuff in them gives me the top of the drawer to work on if I need to, which would be helpful. Or I could even make a little table that slides off the top. Just, you know, like not really a table, more of a place to cut. Put a cutting board down, you know, chop potatoes or vegetables or whatever you need to do. So far, just in coming out to make this video, I've already identified a few things that I think are necessities, right? When you start talking about rooftop tents and refrigerators, dual battery systems, those are kind of creature comforts for me right now, not necessities. And those are, if I ever did anything like that, those would be way, way down the line. Right now, what I'm talking about is more necessities. And here in Arizona, right now it's beautiful. It's 55 degrees, you know, sun's out. Yeah, you saw earlier in the video it was snowing, but I was out in it. It was perfect. There was no wind. But in the summertime, it gets really hot, and you want to escape the sun. So an awning is a necessity. But I have to look and see what I can fit on here, because it's a fairly small roof rack area. It's not as big as the Jeep or even that the Land Cruiser would be. So an awning and some sort of table. I would love to figure out a way to put a table on here. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube, but I kind of got spoiled with the good one that I have on the Jeep. Stainless steel, folds down. I put, you know, the ammo and guns when I'm out shooting. So I get some weight on there, and it works really good. Or I think what I'll do to start is try and find a way that plastic fold-up table. Just find a way to get it in here where it's not banging around, bouncing around, making all kinds of noise. But that makes me really happy that going out and using your stuff, right? Not like, you know, you see some of the stuff that's out there, these rigs that are just like, man, it seems like if you want to go out and adventure, you need $100,000 to, otherwise, you know, it's not true. And I've been doing this all my life. Like I said, I've sleeping in the bed of my Ford Ranger for a long time, and working out of stuff like this. I've never really had a setup like that is popular today. And just, I like going out and testing it. Like right now, yeah, I can get by with what I have, but it would be a lot more convenient to have a table. I definitely need an awning though, because I need to be able to produce shade, especially when I go down that desert area that you guys have seen me. In the desert area, there's no trees, there's no place to hide from the sun, and you need that, especially if you're going to be out for, you know, a full day and a night. If you're going to camp out, or even if you're just out for the day, you want to have some shade. All right. So the steak, I thought I let it get away from me a little bit, but it didn't. It's perfect inside. You know, I still have these spork thingies. You know, I'm not backpacking, so maybe I should think about a regular like spoon and fork and knife. Test this out. Should be, hopefully what I'm looking for is crunchy on the outside, tender on the inside. Oh, it's good. I'm trying to chew with my mouth open so you can hear the crunch. It is definitely crunchy on the outside. So with the mix of both kind of chopped up into these little bite-sized pieces, I can't tell which one. Remember I said one was like super buttery and the other one was kind of normal? It's a good mixture. So I actually counted out the same amount of each color and chopped them up that way. These turned out really good. Simple olive oil in a thin pan, pink Himalayan salt and pepper medley. So basically salt and pepper and olive oil. I had put them on long before I did the steak, and I left them on while the steak was resting. So, all right, let's test the steak out. It's pretty good. I don't think it's as good as my last one. This is a New York strip. I think the last one was like grass-fed or something. It's good, but you know a piece of steak is tender if you don't need to use a knife, right? Delicious. So I'm all packed up. Watered down the charcoal that was left over. There wasn't much left. Getting a little bit better at exactly how much charcoal I need to use based off of what I'm going to cook. Today was a little bit different because I knew the potatoes were going to take longer. So I used a little bit more charcoal. So it wasn't too bad though. It's a learning process. It's really fun. Now that I don't have the snow to throw the grate in, it took a little bit longer to cool down. The whole unit itself cools down pretty quick, but it's that kind of, it looks like maybe it might be cast iron or something grate that the charcoal sits on. I just put it on the ground, put a little stick on it so the air could kind of blow through it. Not too bad. It gave me a chance to kind of clean up the rest of the mess that I made. But worked out pretty good. I think that I'm going to try something different the next time I do a steak, because with the salt and pepper dry rub on the steak and the salt and pepper on the potatoes, I did a little bit extra on the potatoes to, bring out that flavor. I didn't use any butter, anything like that. It was just that olive oil. I think it was a little bit salty. So I'm gonna experiment with some other seasonings for the steak. Now, maybe I'll do some pork, some chicken. I like to try and do some ribs. I got some really good recipes that some friends are putting together for me to try out. It's like an experiment to see what I can do. Some of it is like Dutch oven stuff, which I don't own a Dutch oven. They're not that expensive. They're just, you kind of have to stay after them, being seasoned and the cleaning and all that stuff. So I'm not sure. I know that on Can We Survive, we were going to do some Dutch oven stuff. But we'll see. We'll see. The best part about this was, one, I had a failure in the earlier part of the video, which was the snow. I say as a failure, it's just, I probably could have done it, but sitting out in the snow like that, I don't know how comfortable that would be, because it's a slow process the way I'm cooking this stuff. So that was one thing that was worked out good, that it kind of was a misfire on the first half of the video, and then coming out the next day on such a beautiful, gorgeous day today, and actually being able to cook, relax. And I've actually been out here for a couple hours just chilling out. It's really nice. Super quiet, except there's some people shooting way off in the distance over there. I can hear them. Might have been that group that drove by. The other thing that's good is that now that I'm using this, instead of just testing out, I'm using it for what I've been using like the Jeep for the last 5 years. And already I know that I need a table of some kind, and I need an awning of some kind for sure. I mean, I think for me, those are musts. Now, I'm gonna try and figure out something on the back door here. The easy thing is just to screw it into the plastic, which is what a lot of people do, and I don't want to do that. I know that where the handle is, I could put some nutserts in there and have a good solid metal mounting there, but then I don't know. So I'm gonna have to try and engineer something. I know there's a lot of things I could buy out there that are pre-made and adapt it to this. Some people use even the ones like that are made for the Jeeps. So we'll see. We'll see what I do with that. But a nice little table would be good, because then I could just put everything right there instead of kind of half working out of the back of the truck and half working on the ground and half working on the back door if I had a table. So those are the two things that I think are a must. The other thing, and I knew this already, I talked about it earlier in the video, is the piling in the back. I'm still not sure about trying to maybe make up some drawers or something. If I make the drawers big enough to fit the box that I made up, it's a front runner, the plastic box. If I make it big enough for that to fit in there, then that would solve my problem where I talked about I have it in a cooking box so I can move it from vehicle to vehicle. Well, then I'm not emptying the box and dumping it in a drawer. I can open the drawer, take the box out. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud here. Maybe. But the cool thing is those types of projects are really fun to work on. One, you have to figure out what you want to do. Two, you figure out whether you want to make it yourself or you want to try and buy something that's pre-made, or maybe do a little bit of both. Buy something that's kind of pre-made and adapting it to fit your situation. That's really what I really enjoy about this kind of stuff is along the way, it's not just like, oh, take this somebody, build up an off-road rig, and then that's it. No, part of the fun, and a big part of the fun for me, is continuing to, change things, adapt, modify, adjust, add, create along the way. And I still do that in the Jeep. I put in that shelf, 4 or 5 years after I've been using it. I really like the shelf. It's kind of like the theory of the drawers, right? I'm able to keep stuff up out of my way so not everything is piled on top of each other. So it should be a lot of fun little projects in the future for this thing. I'm looking forward to it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm not sure how this one was going to turn out. It's kind of weird because it was over 2 days and it wasn't planned to be this day before, day after thing. It just, the weather did what it did, and I was able to come out the next day and actually do what I wanted to do, so it worked out. Anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you in the next video.